All right, so there's been some pretty major news breaking in the AI world, something that really makes you stop and think.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're talking about this secret experiment
Yeah.
conducted by researchers out of the University of Zurich.
Right, and they basically unleashed AI onto Reddit, specifically onto the ChangeMyView subreddit without telling anyone.
Exactly. And that's really the crux of it. So today we're going to dig into what actually happened, unpack the details of this whole thing.
Yeah, explore why it's caused such a massive ethical storm and what it might mean for AI, like going forward.
We've looked at all sorts of stuff, the news reports flying around, expert takes, official statements from Zurich, from Reddit itself, trying to piece it all together for you.
So the core of it happened on ChangeMyView. And the claim, the really startling claim, is that the AI comments they used were way more persuasive than human ones.
Like significantly more.
Yeah.
The figure they're throwing around is 6 times more persuasive, which
Yeah.
is, well, it's a lot.
6 times. Okay, let's back up. What exactly did these researchers do?
Okay, so University of Zurich researchers, they decided to use our ChangeMyView, or CMV, as their sort of testing ground.
Which is already interesting, given what that subreddit is about, genuine debate, people trying to persuade each other.
Right. But they didn't just watch. They actively intervened. Over several months, it was late 2024 into early 2025, they deployed AI comments using, get this, over 1,000 different bot accounts.
1,000, seriously. It's a lot of bots.
It's a huge number, flooding the zone, essentially. And these weren't just bland comments either.
No, apparently the AI was programmed to adopt fake personas, like really specific, sometimes sensitive ones.
Exactly. Things like pretending to be a sexual assault survivor or a black man arguing against BLM. Really calculated stuff.
And it wasn't just random arguments, they personalized them.
Yeah, that's the other layer. The AI would analyze a user's post history, what they'd written before, what subreddits they visited.
To guess things about them, like age or politics.
Pretty much. Age, gender, political leaning.
Yeah.
Whatever it could infer to tailor the arguments and make them more, well, persuasive. It's like building a custom influence tool for each person.
Wow. Okay. And the key thing here, nobody agreed to this, right?
Absolutely not. Zero consent. Neither the users being targeted nor the moderators running the subreddit knew this was happening.
And that broke the subreddit's own rules.
Completely. CMV has a clear rule. You have to disclose if you're using a bot or AI. They require that transparency. This was done in total secret.
So how did it even come out? Did someone spot the bots?
Actually, no. The researchers themselves told the moderators. It was back in March 2025, apparently as part of some ethics review they were doing internally.
They just confessed.
Sort of. They apparently apologized for breaking the rules, but then they tried to justify it. They said the topic understanding AI persuasion was of high societal importance, basically arguing the ends justified the means.
I can only imagine how the moderators reacted to that. Sorry, we broke your rules and experimented on your users, but it was important.
Yeah, they were not happy, understandably alarmed. They put out a public announcement about it towards the end of April.
What did they say?
They made it crystal clear they were never asked for permission, and if they had been, the answer would have been a hard no.
Because people expect humans there.
Exactly. They emphasized that CMV is built on the expectation of genuine human interaction, genuine debate. This completely undermined that, a betrayal of trust, basically.
Okay, so that's the setup. Then comes the claim about the results, this 6 times figure.
Right. The researchers' preliminary finding, the one causing all the buzz, is that their AI comments were 6 times more effective at changing people's views on CMV compared to comments written by actual humans.
6 times. It's hard to wrap your head around that scale of difference.
It really is. And if that number holds up under scrutiny, it's a massive data point about the persuasive power AI has or could have.
And the researchers want to publish this, despite how they got the data.
That's their intention, yes. They argue it provides really valuable insights into AI's capabilities, even with all the ethical fallout.
Which has been intense, right? It's not just the mods who are upset.
Oh, far from it.
Yeah.
The moderators filed a formal ethics complaint with the University of Zurich. They're calling for the university to block publication entirely.
Has the university responded to that?
They have. Their ethics commission investigated, and they did issue a formal warning to the lead researcher. So, some acknowledgement of fault.
But are they blocking publication?
No. And this is a really key point. They decided against blocking it.
Why?
Their reasoning was that the study's findings are important, and they felt the risks to the users involved were, quote, minimal. So stopping publication seemed disproportionate to them.
Minimal risks. After secretly manipulating potentially thousands of people, that seems debatable.
Highly debatable. And Reddit itself certainly doesn't seem to think the risks were minimal.
What did Reddit corporate do?
They came down hard, banned all the accounts associated with the experiment, over 1,000 of them.
And they made a statement.
A very strong one. Their chief legal officer, Ben Lee, basically said the researchers' actions were deeply wrong on both a moral and legal level, called it a gross violation of their rules and community trust.
Wow. Moral and legal level. Are they considering suing?
They mentioned they're looking into formal legal action, yeah, which really signals how seriously they're taking this.
Okay, so that leads us straight into the ethical minefield here. It's way bigger than just breaking subreddit rules.
Absolutely. The number one issue is informed consent, or rather, the complete lack of it.
You just can't run psychological experiments on people without telling them, can you?
It's Research Ethics 101. It violates fundamental principles. We saw that quote from Casey Feisler, an ethics professor at University of Colorado.
Yeah.
She called it one of the worst violations of research ethics I've ever seen. And she specifically pushed back on that low-risk idea from the university.
How so?
She pointed out the very real distress the community felt after finding out they'd been deceived. That's not minimal harm.
And it hits particularly hard on a place like CMV, which the mods called a decidedly human space.
Exactly. It poisons the well. People go there for good faith human discussion. Now there's this shadow of doubt.
Plus the impersonation aspect.
Yeah.
Using identities like assault survivors.
That adds another deeply uncomfortable layer. The moderators called it out as trivializing real experiences, basically using them as tools for manipulation. They flat out called it psychological manipulation without consent.
Yeah, and Sarah Gilbert from Cornell's Tech Lab raised concerns about the future of CMV itself, right?
She did. Like, if trust is eroded that badly, can the subreddit even function as intended anymore? It's a valid question.
What about the researchers' defense, this societal importance argument? Is anyone buying that?
It's facing major pushback. Critics, including the CMV mods, are saying, hold on, did this really tell us something totally new?
Meaning other research exists.
Right. People point to work done by, say, OpenAI, who analyzed historical anonymized Reddit data to study persuasion. No secret bots needed.
So the argument is, you could have learned similar things ethically.
That's the contention. The mods basically said this Zurich study didn't offer novel scientific insights that justified breaking ethical rules so spectacularly. They even critiqued the study design itself, saying it wasn't robust, but that even a perfectly designed study done this way would still be unethical.
So questions about the ethics and the necessity. What about oversight? How did this get approved?
That's still a bit murky. It seems the university's review board, the IRB, approved a version of the project.
But maybe not this version.
That's what the moderators are alleging, that the researchers changed their methods significantly from what was approved without going back for another review, which, if true, points to a failure in oversight.
And the university's response to that?
Well, they issued a warning, and their ethics commission has promised stricter scrutiny in the future and better coordination with online communities. But it definitely raises questions.
Meanwhile, Reddit's perspective is also about their site policies, right? Beyond just the ethics.
Yeah, they're clear. It violated rules against impersonation, fake accounts, especially making false personal claims like those personas did. Their potential legal action underlines that it's a platform integrity issue, too.
But it's just condemnation from almost every angle. Academics, ethicists, the community, the platform.
Pretty much a unified rebuke. It really throws the debate about researcher responsibility and the boundaries of AI experiments into sharp relief.
Okay, so moving beyond the immediate fallout, what are the bigger implications here for AI research, maybe even policy?
This is where it gets fascinating and maybe a bit scary. That core finding AI being potentially 6 times more persuasive, that's the data point everyone's going to remember.
Yeah, you can't just ignore that.
Right. And it highlights the classic double-edged sword of powerful tech. You could maybe imagine positive uses. Persuasion for good.
Like health campaigns or something.
Maybe. Or education, conflict resolution.
So.
Perhaps. But the flip side is immediately obvious and, frankly, terrifying.
Misinformation, manipulation, political interference.
Exactly. Large-scale social engineering. This isn't theoretical anymore. We now have a real-world, albeit controversial, data point showing AI can effectively sway human beliefs and decisions online. This pours fuel on the fire of AI safety concerns.
So you think this will cause a major rethink in the AI research community?
I think it has to. There's going to be, or there should be, some serious soul-searching. Ethics boards, IRBs, they're likely going to scrutinize any research involving AI interacting with people much, much more closely now.
Like Zurich promising stricter reviews.
Exactly. That's likely just the start. We might see a push towards methods seen as more inherently ethical.
Like using old data or
Yeah.
simulations.
Yeah, analyzing historical data like OpenAI did, using simulations, or maybe creating specific panels of people who explicitly opt in to participate in AI interaction studies, things that avoid deceiving unsuspecting users.
Could this actually trigger changes in regulation or platform rules?
It absolutely could be a catalyst. It's such a vivid example of the kind of covert influence people worry about.
So more calls for transparency, making it clear when you're talking to a bot.
Definitely. That principal user notification is going to get a lot more attention. The fact CMV had that rule and it was ignored just strengthens the case for maybe needing more than just platform policies, perhaps actual legal requirements.
Like laws mandating disclosure, watermarking AI content.
Those kinds of ideas are likely to gain momentum, and Reddit potentially suing.
Yeah.
That's a powerful signal too. Platforms might get much more aggressive in enforcing their terms of service against this kind of unapproved research.
So this whole mess becomes a key case study.
Absolutely. It's a textbook example almost of the tension between pushing technological boundaries and maintaining ethical responsibility. That old saying, just because we can doesn't mean we should, really applies here.
Do you think it'll chill research? Make people afraid to experiment?
It might have a chilling effect on risky, ethically dubious experiments, which maybe isn't a bad thing. But hopefully, the main effect is to push for clearer, stronger ethical guidelines within AI research.
And the knowledge itself. The fact that AI can be so persuasive.
That knowledge is out there now, controversial source or not. It will absolutely be factored into AI safety work, how to detect manipulation, how to build defenses, how to design platforms responsibly. This experiment, for better or worse, is now part of the landscape.
Okay, so let's quickly recap. We had this secret AI experiment run on Reddit's ChangeMyView by university researchers.
Using over 1,000 bots, fake personas, personalized arguments, all without consent.
Which created a huge ethical backlash when it was revealed. Issues of consent, deception, trust.
Right. Followed by the researchers claiming their AI was 6 times more persuasive than humans, a finding the university controversially decided was too important not to publish, despite issuing a warning.
Prompting condemnation from Reddit ethicists and raising serious questions about oversight.
And ultimately, this whole thing serves as a really stark warning about AI's persuasive power, and likely fuels major discussions around research ethics, safety, transparency, and potential regulation moving forward.
It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? If AI can be that good at changing minds, what does that mean for, well, everything? Online discussions, democracy, just our ability to know who or what we're interacting with.
That's the big question, isn't it? How do we navigate this? How do you, listening right now, think about balancing this incredible technological leap with the ethics? What's the responsibility here for researchers, platforms, for all of us? Potential for good, potential for harm. It's all on the table now.
Definitely something to keep mulling over. This conversation is far from over. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, keep thinking about it. It's important stuff.